It's Tara Green here. Whoops, I'm gonna get these cards together here. This is a little tarot deck called the Tarot of Metamorphosis, which I really like actually. So on this Sun, Jupiter, Mars, Jupiter, Venus, Venus opposite Jupiter conjunction here, I'm going to pull some cards for you. Okay, so I'm going to pull cards. I'm going to shuffle this deck up. I don't usually use the full deck. I usually only like to work with the major arcana, but I thought after such an amazing week here with all of these conjunctions, Sun, Venus, Venus, Mars, Sun, Mars, and then connected to Jupiter as well, it'd be nice to have some guidance here. All that Capricornian Cancer energy, 16 to 20 degrees. Okay, so let's start with Aries. Now, of course, Aries has got the hot seat very literally for the next, for this year, for the next number of years, with Saturn and Aries and Neptune and Aries meeting at 20 degrees. Okay, I'm going to get my special crystal here and do that as well. Okay, so let's do Aries. I'm going to do this again. I'm Tara Green. I'm a professional tarot reader, astrologer for over 34 years in Toronto, Canada. Okay, so Aries, you get this major arcana, which is number 17. Now, this is the star. You can see it's the star. Sorry, it's so bright. It's the star. This is a very kind of usual card. The star is about wishing on stars. So Aries, speaking about Three-Eye Atlas, it's called the stars here, so it's more than one star. So dealing with the cosmic messengers, the stars are ancestors traditionally, calling upon the stars, going out and looking at the stars, really connecting, communing with them. We come from the stars. We know that. We are stardust. We remember the Big Bang. And so you want to connect with your higher self to give yourself wisdom and guidance as Aries becomes the focus of Neptune, which is the planet of cosmic energy, of spirituality, of psychic energy, and Saturn, the one that puts limits and boundaries and makes it solid. So working with the stars, being the star yourself very much, and bringing the cosmic wisdom down to earth, Aries. Okay, so let's do another one here. Let's do Taurus. Now, Tauruses are getting ready to have Uranus leave their sign since 2018, and you get, oh, this is another major arcana here. This is number 8, which in this deck, God, it's too bright actually. For some reason I can't see it. This is like a justice card. Looks like to me a justice card. It's got honeycombs. The images are really fascinating. There's swords, a sword of balance. That's justice. So it's a very different variation of justice. Well, this would be like Libra. So for Taurus, the cards are saying you need to make sure you stay in balance, that you really think, Libra is an air sign, really think about everything very carefully. There could be legal issues that you're going through. There could be judgments in relationships, anything that's out of balance in relationships, or money. Venus rules money traditionally, or anger, or not expressing yourself. I'm alluding back to the Mars opposition here to Jupiter. Really letting yourself speak your truth. Justice is usually always shown as a woman. You know, she's usually shown as a blind woman because she has to be impartial. So stand up for what you believe in, Taurus. I know you have a very strong voice to do that with. Okay, so let's get to Gemini. Now, Gemini is also going to go through a new beginning when Uranus enters Gemini. Okay, so this is number 10. This is the Wheel of Fortune. This is a very fun Wheel of Fortune. It's like this snail goddess here. She's primordial. You know, snails are kind of watery, come from the water, but there's earth snails as well. So things might be moving a little slower than you'd like right now. Gemini, snail's pace there. Snails are actually really intelligent. My daughter had a little pet snail that she picked up, and it felt like it was very communicative actually. So maybe don't move too fast. You're going to go at super speed once Uranus re-enters Gemini. So maybe it's time to just move very slowly while all this action is happening and get ready for the big change. Okay, so let's do Cancer now. Now, because Jupiter is in Cancer, you know, Jupiter at 20 degrees of Cancer here, this card is called the Queen of Pentacles. It's also written in Spanish and in Italian. Okay, so the Queen of Pentacles is like the Queen of Discs. This is Capricorn as well. So in the Thoth deck that I usually use, she's usually shown as a pregnant woman. She represents winter. So for Cancer, this is definitely that Capricorn energy, needing to stay grounded, needing to stay practical, needing to make sure you're taking care of everyday responsibilities. Don't get too spaced out by all of this. You know, your job, your career, your long-term goals is what's important to you right now. Okay, so there's Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer. Right, oops. Okay, let's get, sorry, I'm holding this in one hand while I'm doing this. Leo. Okay, so for Leos, early Leos, of course, Pluto is opposite you. This is the Eight of Pentacles. This is very much robotic here. So this looks very Aquarian. It's kind of like this being in a spaceship, almost like a vision I had years ago. Interesting. It is about being very conscious of where you are, what you're putting out, what you came from. Again, this very cosmic energy. The eights are always karma. The discs, pentacles, coins, earth, Eight of Earth. So this is about manifestation, Leo. It's about making choices. The Eight is about choices. It's karma. It's about actually understanding how watched you are. You can see this is very much like a kind of a communication station, watching your communications. Kind of really interesting card there to think about, Leo. Okay. It could be major success or major AI, getting into that kind of technology, especially with Pluto opposite your sign. All right, so Virgo. Okay, so this is the Three of Swords. Three of Swords. He looks very Victorian, this guy, kind of magical. He seems to be like he manifested in a pillar of fire somehow, even though he's swords, which is air. So the threes are always very beneficial, very positive. They make a pyramid. So for Virgos, you know, you're ruled by Mercury. This is keeping your mind very clear, very focused, very balanced on your intentions at this time. Mercury is also in Capricorn with all these other planets. It's just not close enough to make those conjunctions, but it's still there. So again, kind of holding down the fort, but remembering your magical self. Okay, so now Libra. So Libras, again, if you're born with planets from 16 to 20 degrees, you are getting this energy. So this is the Four of Cups, or chalices. They call it chalices or copas, coops. Okay, Four of Cups. Again, these are very strange, magical, very hallucinogenic. It looks like a spider web, and there's a woman there. Libra. I would say this is really understanding the web, understanding the net, understanding the, you know, I remember my shamanic teacher talking about the web, the maze, and the matrix years ago in the late 80s when I worked with her, that was a shamanic structure. So look at the overall structure of your life, Libra. Like, where are you going from here? We are all in a pivotal state of change right now. Again, 2025 was an unprecedented year where all the planets, 4 or 5 planets, changed signs. That hadn't happened in over 4,000 years. And again, as Saturn and Neptune meet February 20th at 0 degrees of Aries, it hasn't happened in over 6,000 years. So it's understanding and weaving the net, and maybe understanding that you're the creator, you're the weaver yourself. Okay, and also not to get entangled in the webs of lies, deceit, or other people's issues. Okay, so let's do Scorpio. Scorpio. Okay, you get the Three of Cups. Three of Cups. Okay. This is a couple dancing. Three of Cups. It's very romantic. It seems very formal, actually, very romantic. The threes again are very balanced. I've got the 3 cups there actually on the altar. 3 is very feminine. So I'd say it's like opening up and balancing your masculine and feminine side. Maybe having a bit more pleasure in your life. 3 of Cups, allowing pleasure. Receiving. The 3s are very feminine. Receiving pleasure in your life right now. Okay, so let's get to Sagittarius. All right, Sagittarius, you get, and I don't do reversals, you get the 7 of Cups. Okay, he looks like that character in one of those, you know, Marvel things there. He's kind of a tree being here, kind of an ant with these little girls, or headless girls hanging off from him, which are the 7 heads, or the 7 cups. Wow, that's a pretty perplexing image. Okay, so it's about staying grounded again. The sevens again represent choices. They represent cycles. So 7 cycles of emotional realms. Maybe you've gone through the whole realms. Everything traditionally goes 1 to 7, 7 days of the week, 7 planets. Be careful that you're what you're cutting yourself off from. It looks like the 7 heads represent, the feminine always represents wisdom. This being in the center here seems to be cut off from the wisdom, although it's busy trying to stay grounded in the water. So they are connected, but they're kind of a bit detached. So I would say this is about really kind of bringing yourself back to center, that maybe you've cut off or a bit strung out from your major sources of intelligence here, even though this is cups. Maybe looking for new allies, new ways of understanding things. Okay, I'm moving back now. Okay, so Capricorn. Let's do Capricorn here. What's Capricorn got? Capricorn's got the 3, another 3 here. The 3 of Pentacles, or Oros, which is gold, actually. Dinari, that's money. Okay, so this is money for Capricorn. Capricorns are always about money. It seems like she's a goddess. She looks like Lakshmi here. Shakti. She's very feminine. It's the goddess of, I would say it's like Lakshmi, who's up there on my fireplace. So for Capricorns, this could be very enriching for you physically in all ways. Again, Capricorns are the center of the stage right now with Venus and Mars and then Jupiter opposite. So this is really about, she looks like the cosmic dancer here. So Capricorns, I would say, again, there's this element of dancing, maybe being more creative with your choices as well. All right, so Aquarius, you get the 6 of Wands. So it has a lovely butterfly in here, 6 of Wands. There is sort of 2 people in here. It's kind of a little hard to see it. Well, 2 people kind of joined. They seem to be emerging from some mysterious shape or spiritual energy here. Kind of a bit of a masculine yin, what do you call it? Lingam yoni kind of energy, which produces like a butterfly, which is also kind of like a fairy. So this is quite a magical image here, and the sense of the balance of these 2 different intelligences. The 6, of course, are always at the center of the tree of life. They represent love. And so this is for Aquarius, right? So the wand is fire. So 6 fires. Again, it feels like understanding the duality of yourself, how it's united, how it's one, and that you're in a process of becoming, rebirthing. Okay, so let's do Pisces now. So Pisces, you get, okay, the 4 of, this is the 4 of Pentacles, again, coins. It's like a train. It's a very animated train. We were just talking about stoking the fires of the train earlier. Doesn't look like a very happy train there, but and it's purple, which is Pisces color, right? Purple is amethyst. So the 4s are always about balance and power and stability, working with the 4 elements. So for Pisces, with Neptune right at the last degree of Pisces and Saturn nearby, you got to, again, create a new foundation. It's like the card is suggesting you better stoke that fire. You got to keep it going, right? And know where you're going, and start looking for a new direction. So you got to keep that train, that motion, that entrainment going. And again, remember to work with the 4 elements. You're in control here. You're in power. Okay, so for this rare, long Sun, Venus, Mars, Sun, Mars, and then opposite Jupiter, all of this energy here is the overview for all of the different signs. Again, Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sag, Capricorn, Pisces. Okay, now if you want to get a more in-depth reading from me, you can get in touch with me at tarottarot.com. Sending you many blessings of the day.